Oh, planting seeds. I'm loving planting seeds. That is so cool. Uh, I planted lots of seeds. Oh, yeah, yeah. I went out and I sowed seeds, and some fell on the path, and the birds just caught them right away and just run off with them, And some of them fell in the thorns, and the thorns choked them out. It's terrible. Some of them fell in the rocky soil. Now, they came right on up, but as soon as the weather got bad, they died right off, No, but some fell into good soil, and they grew, and they just gave 100. Of course, they didn't grow until after I left, so the next pastor got credit. That's how that works. Probably. I'll tell you what I am proud of, the stuff I have seen grow that I thought was cool, is there's about a half a dozen folks out there that had been in my congregations who are now preaching. Most of them are local pastors, a couple of, maybe one went the ordained route, but most of them are local pastors, but they're serving churches, and they came out of my pews, and I think they either looked at me and said, if he can do it, anybody can. There's something like that, but anyway, it's kind of cool to see that going on. Yeah. The contrast is amazing. There were some appointments that I had where I was so isolated and so on my own and hard to figure out who to ask about what. So that when I actually did wind up in a place where the colleagues around me were useful and the weekly prayer groups and gripe groups were good, it was, you could really see the value in it. When I was in Independence, Kansas, a group of pastors gathered around that, and we did everything from help write each other's sermons to help with each other's griefs at loss of parents and all kinds of things. A very powerful experience, very powerful down there. And I was good when I was up at Edgerton. There was a group around Baldwin City that was also very, very supportive and good. These kind of groups coming together are excellent as far as really feeling the connection. Probably better than any administrative issues that you could, any rules you could pass or any organizations you could set up, but just these that come and go. Right now, I'm in a pretty good group for that matter. I missed their last meeting, so I'm feeling guilty. But the K7 group, Dan's in it, is also quite supportive. The whole idea of churches having pastors and pastors having churches is never going to make the connection strong. The pastors ought to all be part of the conference. They should be, I could work a different church each week. What the heck? I don't know. But the whole idea that the conference sends us somewhere and then forgets us. They do. You're appointed to that church. I hope it works out. Bye. That should never happen like that. And the church feels the same way. Look at the bozo they sent us this time. And we're stuck with him till when? We really do need to have. My petition, by the way, was called connectional salary. And, where I get paid from Topeka. If my paycheck comes from Topeka, the local church doesn't own me. And you could change pastors monthly. You could bring in a guy for a special gift to help get the choir going. Let him be the pastor this month. You could do all kinds of creative things if you didn't have to come up with a new salary package every time you made a new appointment. No, the churches owning the pastors and the pastors setting up their little kingdoms in their churches are destructive to the connection. That's true. There's lots of creative things you can do, but as long as that, because we are connectional till payday, and then we're congregational. And being congregational is what the church feels. There's something about America, we got to do everything in dollars and cents. Somebody tells you got a really great program, they're going to say, what's it cost and what will bring in? Well, if you get the dollars and cents out of it, we'd be better off. But that's not how it works in America. I think dollars and cents. So if on payday they're congregational, they don't see a connection. Anyway, so that's been something I've been talking about for about 33 years.